It's a new year, it's a new day, and many of us are setting goals and we want to achieve those goals. Well, today I'm going to talk to you about following through on your goals. What good is having goals if you're not going to follow through? What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the very first episode of the Maximize Your Brand podcast in the brand new year. I am Markeith Brayton, speaker, personal brand strategist, and your host of the Maximize Your Brand podcast. Today, I'm excited to be live streaming the podcast episode today on YouTube. And those of you who are listening to the podcast via the podcast audio, thank you for joining me today as well. I'm so excited, so excited. We're in a brand new year. Many of us have brand new goals. We have a brand new opportunity to do some great things in our lives. But there is just this one question I have for you. Will you follow through? Will you follow through on the goals that you have set for the new year? The reason why I want to talk about this particular subject matter is I had to ask myself the question. Markeith, why didn't you accomplish all the goals that you set? A phrase that kept coming to mind was follow through. Follow through. That when I think about all of the goals that I have, I had to really acknowledge that I didn't always follow through on what I knew to do, or I didn't always follow through on what I said I was going to do. So today we're going to talk about this topic. I'm going to provide you about 5 tips on how to follow through on your goals this year. And then I'm just going to share a little personal aspect of what I'm going to be doing this year in order to ensure that I follow through. But before we get started, I want to share a quick opportunity with you around coaching. I have a new program that I'm offering this year that I think would be very valuable to those of you who are ready to go to the next level and really feel like you could use some coaching and accountability. So check out today's commercial break, and I will be right back right after this message. Hey, just popping in real quick to say 2 things. Thank you for listening to the Maximize Your Brand podcast each and every week. And number 2, I want to let you know that I am offering a brand new program called Laser Coaching with Markeith Brayton. I know you have dreams, I know you have aspirations and things that you want to do, and sometimes you just need a little bit of accountability to get you moving in the direction that you desire to go in. I can remember back in 2014 when I first got laid off my job, I had a decision to make. Was I going to pursue my dream, or was I going to go back to the 9 to 5 rat race that I just did not enjoy? And the only thing that really helped me to make that decision was that I invested in myself and got coaching. And that coaching was tremendous in my making the decision to keep going and pursuing my entrepreneurial dream of becoming a professional speaker and a digital personal brand coach. And today, I want to make that same offer and opportunity to you. That if you're ready to move to your next level, if you're ready to learn how to leverage your personal brand for a business, then this opportunity is great for you. Laser coaching with Markeith Braden. It's a 3-month time frame where you get up to 15 to 30 minutes unlimited laser coaching. But there is one caveat. You have to make sure that you finish the homework from each coaching session before you schedule a new one. And once again, it is for a 90-day time frame, and it's unlimited coaching, 15 to 30 minutes. You can schedule as many as you want, as long as you do your homework in between the sessions before you schedule your next session. So if you are interested in laser coaching and this offer, I want you to go to markeithbraden.com/laser coaching. That's markeithbraden.com/laser coaching. And let's move you in the direction that you want to move in, because sometimes you just need a little bit of accountability to help you along the way. I look forward to seeing you signing up for laser coaching with Markeith Braden. All right. Well, thank you for taking the time out to listen to that commercial. I'm all excited about this new opportunity to help as many people as possible learn how to package their knowledge and monetize their expertise as speakers, coaches, and consultants. Well, let's go ahead and get into today's episode: how to follow through this year on your goals. How to follow through this year on your goals. As I was sharing earlier, it was a great question to ask myself about my own goals, because I fell short. I fell short in achieving some of my goals. Now, I did achieve some of them, especially financial goals in my business. And when I compared the ones that I achieved and ones that I didn't, it came down to follow through. So I want to give you 5 tips on how to follow through on your goals this year, so that you don't look back and say, man, I didn't accomplish this or I didn't accomplish that. But I want you to look back and celebrate and pat yourself on the back and be in victory, because you know that you gave everything that you had in following through to accomplish your goals. So tip number one on following through on your goals: you want to make your goals specific and measurable. Now, I know you've heard this before about SMART goals, and I really like SMART goals because SMART goals are specific, they're measurable, they're attainable, they're realistic, they're time-bound, they're measurable. And you want to be able to, measure those goals and be very specific about what it is that you are going after. When you're setting your goals, be specific about what you want to achieve. Having specific and measurable goals will make it easier to track your progress and to see how far you have come. Specificity. Let's talk about specificity. So a specific goal, as an example, would be to, let's use fitness. Let's use fitness as a specific goal. That I want to work out 5 days a week, and I want to go from 20% body fat to 15% body fat within the first 90 days of this year. See how specific that is? Specific being I want to work out 5 days a week. Specific being that I want to decrease my body fat from 20% to 15%, and I want to do it within 90 days. It's attainable and realistic because right now I'm at 20%, and I just want to go down 5 percentage points in body fat. That's very doable for me in 90 days because I already have a training routine. I already have the habit of going to work out 5 to 6 days a week. I already have the developed habit of working on my nutrition. So it's very attainable and realistic. and I can measure it. One of the things that I'm doing right now when it comes to my fitness goals, I am tracking what I'm eating in this app called MyFitnessPal. And I'm able to weigh my food and put it in to MyFitnessPal so that I know how much protein, carbs, how much sugar, how much fat I'm consuming so that I can adjust accordingly in order to help me hit my goals. Then I'm also tracking all of my workouts in MyFitnessPal and tracking the weight and my increases as I continue to work out each and every week. So tip number 1 is that you want to make your goals specific and measurable. Tip number 2, you want to set deadlines for yourself. Deadlines help to create a sense of urgency and to keep you on track. Make sure that you set a realistic deadline, similar to what I just gave an example for my fitness goals. But you want to be realistic in setting your deadlines. Now, I really like setting those deadlines because the numbers and the dates don't lie. The numbers and the dates do not lie. You want to set that deadline. Now, I used to have this challenge where I would set deadlines far in advance. And what would happen when I would set it far in advance, I would put it off. And then next thing you know, I'm very close to the deadline. And then I end up not doing it because I feel like I don't have enough time. So you want to set a deadline that gives you urgency. You want to set a deadline that excites you, that inspires you to move forward quickly. This is why it's important that you don't set too many goals within a certain time frame. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a couple of the other points here. So set that deadline. Here's what I know for sure. When your dreams, your aspirations, and your goals don't have deadlines, they're just lofty ideas. Or they just remain a dream because you didn't even set a deadline to accomplish it. But when you put a deadline on that dream, when you put a deadline on that goal, then that lets me know you're serious about achieving what it is that you're setting out to do. Tip number 2, set deadlines for yourself. When you're at work and you're working on a project and you have a supervisor, that supervisor is going to ask you, by when can you get it done? And you don't want to set a date that's so far out that the supervisor looks at you crazy. You want to set a date that allows you an opportunity to get it done, but also allows you an opportunity to be celebrated for getting a project done in a timely manner. Tip number 3, break your goals down into smaller, actionable steps. We're talking about following through this new year. You want to break your goals down into smaller, actionable steps. Large goals can be overwhelming, so it's helpful to break them down into smaller, more manageable tasks. One of the books that I love that really helped me to understand breaking those goals down was The 12-Week Year. And The 12-Week Year is a great book because it teaches you to have 2 to 3 goals per quarter. And you want to break it down into those 12 weeks. And then you want to have actionable steps that you do on a daily basis to achieve that particular goal within the given time frame of the 90 days or the 12 weeks. And I like that because many of us have a tendency to set too many goals to achieve in a given amount of time, and then we wonder why we don't necessarily achieve those goals. So when you break those goals down, then you have the ability to really create your strategy on how you're going to achieve it in the time frame. So here's a financial example that I like to give. I'm going to get out my trusty calculator here. And let's say you have a financial goal for your business of $250,000 within the year. So we're going to go 250,000. I'm going to type in $250,000 within the year. We're going to divide that 250,000 by 12 because there are 12 months in the year. That's $20,833. $20,833 a month. We're going to divide that by 4. That's $5,208 a week. Divide that by 7. That's $744 a day. Now we're going to break it down into quarters. So that's $744 a day times 7 times 3. That is, hold on one second, I messed that up. 250,000 divided by 12, and divide that and multiply that by the $20,833, multiply that by 3. That's $62,500 a quarter. So now that I know, okay, $62,500 a quarter. So what we have to do now is create our strategy on how we're going to get that $62,500 or that $20,833 a month. Breaking it down. How many courses do you have to sell? How many products that you're offering do you have to sell? That helps you to really start thinking of your strategy around what you need to do when you are able to break it down. So hopefully that was a good example that you can understand. Tip number 4, 2 more tips. You want to find an accountability partner. This one is really good. Sharing your goals with someone who you trust and asking them to check in with you regularly can help you stay motivated and on track. Here's what I know for sure, that having someone who you give permission to hold you accountable to what you say you want to do is very crucial to your success. Now, sometimes that could be a coach that you pay to help you pay attention. Sometimes you need to pay someone to hold you accountable so you will pay attention. I really like that. I'm going to say it one more time. Sometimes you need to pay someone to hold you accountable so you will pay attention. It could be a mentor who you entrust to help hold you accountable to what you say. Because what I have come to understand and know is that you've got to commit and do what you say you're going to do. That's the only way you're really going to achieve the goals that you have for yourself. We got to stop reneging on ourselves. We got to stop reneging on our goals. We got to stop reneging on the things that we say we want out of life. Times will get hard. Nothing will ever always be perfect. But if you don't give up and if you follow through on what it is that you say you want, I promise you'll get there. I promise you'll get there. But having an accountability partner who can walk with you, who may see you slacking a little bit and may give you that inspiration and motivational word that you need to keep going. I was at the gym today, and one of my colleagues who was at the gym, they shared one of my IG posts recently, and I went up to them and thanked them for sharing the post. And they was like, man, that hit me right where I needed to be hit. I needed it that day. I needed that encouragement. I needed that motivational, inspirational word today because I was feeling a little down. Now, I didn't know that, but he uses my social media or the things that I post as accountability. He uses it as inspiration. He uses it as an opportunity for him to stay inspired. Who is your accountability partner? Who do you give permission to help hold you accountable? Tip number 5, our last tip for today. Celebrate your victories. Don't forget to take the time to celebrate your accomplishments, no matter how small they seem to be. This can help you stay motivated and keep you going even when things get tough, because things will get tough. But when you celebrate your victories, it helps to put you in a place of consciousness and gratefulness, because you know you've achieved something great. You know that you've done something that you've set out to do, and you need to celebrate yourself. However you choose to do that, however you choose to celebrate yourself is your prerogative. I'll never forget, back in 2019, I enrolled in a coaching program to help me to start to scale my business. And one of the things that I wanted to do was to create a premium level coaching program to help senior level executives who want to get into speaking, coaching, and consulting, help them to build out their knowledge-based business, help them to build out their personal brand so that they can start getting speaking engagements, coaching clients, or consulting opportunities. And so we built out the offer and the program. And about 2 months after enrolling in the coaching program, I landed my very first $20,000 client. Before 2019, I had never had a client who was willing to exchange their hard-earned money on that level. And I was so excited. And so the next meeting that I had with my coach, she asked me, she said, "How did you celebrate? What did you do for yourself for that win?" And at the time, I told her I hadn't done anything. I was just excited that I closed the deal. And she was like, "No, you have to celebrate yourself. You have to celebrate your victories. You need to do something for yourself so that you can trigger in your mind the possibility of being able to close more clients like that." And so I decided to take myself to get a self-care day, pedicure, manicure, and just enjoy a day with myself, to myself, because I did achieve a goal. I did achieve that goal of landing my first $20,000 client. And guess what? I've had multiple $20,000 client opportunities since then. And I think it really puts you in a place of gratitude as well. And it doesn't always have to be celebrating your victories by doing something for yourself. You could do something for somebody else. If it's a financial win, or if it's something that's non-financial but yet can benefit somebody else. It all depends on what you want to do to celebrate your victories. 5 tips on how to follow through on your goal. There's so many other tips, but these were the ones that jumped out to me the most. And let's go through those one more time. Number 1, you want to make your goals specific and measurable if you're going to follow through this year on your goals. Number 2, you want to set deadlines for yourself. Don't put these things off late in the year or months down the road when you know you can achieve them next week or this month. You want to break those goals down into smaller, actionable steps. I recommend reading the 12-week year. It will help you do that. You want to find an accountability partner. Find an accountability partner that can help you move your goals forward, move you forward so that you can accomplish those goals. And number 5, celebrate your victories. Celebrate your victories. Don't just have all these wins and not take any time to acknowledge and be grateful for winning. Short and sweet podcast today, but I just wanted to come in and share the very first episode with you of the new year. We're going to be with you each and every week right here on the Maximize Your Brand podcast. So excited that you're joining me via YouTube as well as on the podcast audio. And hey, I'm looking forward to sharing with you each and every week. If you have any show ideas, email me at markeith@markeithbrayton.com or type those in the comments. What would you like to learn from me, or what type of guests would you like to have on the Maximize Your Brand podcast as it pertains to personal branding, monetizing your expertise, packaging your knowledge, and building an online-based profitable business? Let me know in the comments or email me at markeith@markeithbrayton.com. Also, I want to invite you to subscribe to the podcast. If you're not subscribed, you can subscribe to the podcast via iTunes by going to iTunes and typing in Maximize Your Brand with Markeith Brayton. Also, I invite you to hit that like button right there on YouTube and subscribe to this channel so that you can get those notifications, because I'm going to be on more often here on YouTube as well and be sharing with you. But once again, you can subscribe to the podcast at Maximize Your Brand with Markeith Brayton. We're on all the major platforms: Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play Music, your major platforms. So I invite you to subscribe, and then I also invite you to hit that like button on YouTube as well. Well, until next week, I just want to remind you that you have purpose. You have significance in this world. I'm going to leave you with one of my favorite quotes, which was from the late Dr. Miles Monroe. He said, "The greatest tragedy in life is life without purpose, life that has no significant meaning. Moreover, life's greatest failure is to be successful at the wrong assignment." Here's what I know for sure. You have an assignment, and it's your responsibility to fulfill that assignment. And I'm here to help you do that. And so if you're interested in fulfilling your assignment and going to that next level, check out the laser coaching offer that I have by going to markeithbrayton.com/laser coaching. Once again, markeithbrayton.com/laser coaching. One more time, markeithbrayton.com/laser coaching. Well, until next time, just remember this: always shoot for the top, because it's the bottom that's overcrowded. Take care.